Welcome to the session, How to Use AI to Help You Work Faster and Better. Hopefully you guys can find something from this session that just improves your daily workflow. Even if it's just by 1%, it'll compound over time and you'll get a massive return on investment just by implementing some kind of AI tools. So who am I? I'm Leon Petru. I'm an industrial engineer by degree. I studied at University of Pretoria. I'm also a Udemy instructor. I teach UiPath and ChatGPT. I've got over 70,000 students on Udemy. I've also got a YouTube channel, like Paul mentioned earlier, just hit the 10K subs. And then last year, I was awarded the UiPath Most Valuable Professional and UiPath AI Ambassador of the Year Award. And I'm also currently the founder and CEO at Futurize, which is an online learning platform to learn emerging tech skills like AI, automation, and app development, specifically no-code and low-code tools. So it's specifically for like non-technical, semi-technical people who want to leverage AI and automation in their day-to-day work. Before we get into it, let's first ask the question, does AI actually make you more productive? What does the research say? So a study done by Harvard and Boston Consulting Group, they concluded that knowledge workers who used AI were able to complete tasks 25% quicker with a 40% increase in quality. So it's both working more efficiently and effectively. And this was like, the impressive thing about the study was like based off of real world tasks that you actually do. So it was quite an accurate study, and this was based off GPT-4 and ChatGPT. Then another study done on software developers, they felt that they were only 35% more productive by using AI when they were actually achieving a 56% increase in output. So that was also another Harvard study done. So what's interesting about that is people grossly underestimate how much value these AI tools are actually giving them. So it's actually making them more productive than you realize. So yeah, this whole presentation, like I've got a whole bunch of clickable links inside here. After the session, I'll share these slides with you so you can have access to all these links. So I also have an eBook, which is basically like the basis of this specific session. It's 13 best AI productivity tools in 2024. So this is my personal list of what the tools that I use that actually make me more productive, because you've probably seen there's like hundreds, maybe even thousands of AI tools out there. So it's a bit of an information overload, and a lot of them seem useful on the surface, but like you wouldn't actually use them. So this is the stuff that I actually use and I find a personal benefit. So hopefully maybe there's one or two tools in this list that will help you. So here's also the list, the link to that. So yeah, when you get these slides, you can just click this link and you'll get the ebook. So there's basically three types of AI productivity tools. The one that you probably most aware of is these AI chatbots like ChatGPT. There's a few others which I'll get into now. The second is AI-powered applications. So these are basically using these AI chatbot language models as like the base technology. And then the application creates like a nice user interface for you to do some specific task. Or maybe they're using some AI feature to enhance their current features. I'll get into those as well. And then the third thing, which is quite exciting, it's more of a cutting edge or emerging technology. It's called AI agents. This is they basically do your work for you, which is pretty cool. It's like an AI which actually does your work. You basically just tell it what to do in a prompt, and then it goes and takes control of your screen and it actually does the work. So it's still in the research phase. It's not really working right now, but this is definitely like the next step in like productivity and like digital automation. So that's quite exciting. So I'll get into some tools that you can use over there as well. So these are the use cases for AI chatbots specifically. So these are my personal use cases. I most use it for brainstorming, idea generation, or problem solving. So like anything related to the business, when I have any question, I usually just go to ChatGPT-4, ask it the question, and just get some ideas from that. The second thing is summarizing large chunks of information, for example, articles or YouTube transcripts. So that's actually quite cool. So I love watching YouTube videos and learning from like long podcasts, but sometimes I don't have the time to go and watch a full like 1 or 1.5 hour podcast. I literally just copy paste the transcript into ChatGPT and ask it for the top 3 insights or something like that. And then I'll just have a chat with the YouTube video basically. And then it saves me a lot of time. I also use it as a starting point for research. I use it for writing and debugging code less frequently because I'm not much of a software developer, but I use it sometimes. I use it to generate dummy data, especially for my YouTube videos. If I'm trying to like demo something, I create some dummy data with Excel. ChatGPT can actually like output Excel spreadsheets as well. And then I don't personally use it for writing, but many people do. It does have its limitations regarding writing. So yeah, but these top three are like the main ones I use it for. So regarding the AI chatbots, there's two types. There's closed source chatbots and there's open source. So the closed source ones are the paid ones, and they're very capable. They're the more impressive or more intelligent models, so they'll give you better responses. And the open source ones are the free ones, but they're not as capable. So I'll go into the differences and examples of both shortly. There's also this really cool tool. It's a leaderboard to compare all the different chatbots that are available in real time. Let me show this to you quickly. It's quite awesome. So this is basically like all the different AI chatbots that are available, and it's ranked from like first to last, and it's based on an ELO score. So this is like the same rating system that they use in chess, and how these scores are determined is through this battle arena over here, where you give it a prompt. You say something like, I don't know, what is the meaning of life? Whatever you want to ask it, send that in, and then it's going to generate two different responses with two random models. And then you as a human need to like rate which one is better. You need to vote for which one is better. Like you can say A is better, B is better, it's a tie, or both are bad. You send it in, and then basically that adjusts the score on the leaderboard. So it's a very reliable source of information to see which are the best chatbots to use. So currently we have GPT-4 Turbo. So that's basically the paid version of ChatGPT. Is currently the market leader on that. So yeah, we have GPT-4 is the best overall closed source model, followed by Claude 3 Opus, followed by Google Gemini. These are all paid models, so they each cost $20 per month. A pro tip, if you want to use GPT-4, that same leading model, you can use it for free on copilot.microsoft.com. If you come to this URL over here, you're basically getting access to GPT-4. And yeah, you can even upload images, upload files, the same thing you can do in the Plus version of ChatGPT. There is a limitation with this because what happens is OpenAI will use the data that gets passed into Copilot to train their model. So it's basically not free because you're paying for it with your data and your IP. So I wouldn't recommend putting any confidential information in here because the language model will get trained on your data. But if you're using the Plus version of ChatGPT, there's a way to disable that. I can show you that now quickly. So if you go to the Plus version of ChatGPT, you can see I currently have it disabled, but you just you click your name at the bottom, you go to customize, no, it's not customize. Go to my plan, no, not my plan, settings, there you go. And then you go to data controls, and then you just want to disable this. So you can see what this does. It says, save new chats to this browser to your history and allow them to be used to improve our models. Unsaved chats will be deleted from our system within 30 days. The setting does not sync across browser and devices. So basically, if you disable this, they're not going to use your prompts, but it comes with the limitation that you can't access your history. So you can see here, I've disabled it so I can access my past prompts. But if I come and disable this setting, then I don't have access to it. But then at least they're not training the model on my data. So I'll disable it if I'm asking anything confidential. And then this is where you can toggle between GPT 3.5 and 4. So this is basically, GPT is a smarter version of GPT 3.5. So if you're using the free version, you're using 3.5. If you're using the paid version, you're using GPT 4, which is a smarter, more capable version with a lot more features, which I'll get into shortly.
Sure. So if you disable that, does it still utilize kind of, I guess, the learnings from the previous prompts to help your new prompts? Even just from a formatting perspective, like this is the way I like my output to look. You've maybe utilized in a previous prompt, and then on a new prompt, is it going to pick that up if that is disabled?
Yeah, it won't pick it up, but what you can do is if you come here and you go to customize ChatGPT, you can give it custom instructions. For example, what would you like ChatGPT to know about to provide better responses, or how would you like ChatGPT to respond? Over here, you can explain, you can enable this, and then you can just type whatever you want, respond the format in this style, or in this format, or in this tone, or whatever the case is. If you apply the instructions over here, it'll then apply those instructions across every single new chat that you create.
Yeah, I do use the customize, but I think because I can't easily show the format, I find it a little bit difficult it's kind of like, I think my struggle is I tend to have to prompt, I have to give feedback maybe 3 or 4 times before I'm getting it right. So I guess I'm not getting my original instruction right.
Got you.
Which is why the customized section is not necessarily working probably as well as it could work for me.
Got you. Okay, yeah. So for that, I think the fix for that would be prompt engineering. So like prompt engineering is basically like a field of study in AI where you can build your prompt or write your prompts in a way that the AI is best able to interpret what you're trying to say. That's actually what I teach in my ChatGPT course is prompt engineering. So there's basically specific rules like there's a role you need to give it, you need to provide it with context, clarifications, you need to format the prompt in a specific structure. And then when you follow those few rules, you'll just notice the responses you'll get from these language models will be that much better. And what's nice about prompt engineering, it applies across like all language models. Any chatbot you use, you apply the same rules and you'll get better responses across all of them. I can show you more on the prompt engineering in my course.
No, you don't need to. I think I'm just signing up for your course.
Sure. Awesome. Cool. So yeah, and then also like another little hack, if there's this other software called Poe.com. I personally haven't used it, but it's also $20 a month. But then you get access to all the language models. You get ChatGPT 4, Claude 3, Opus, DALL-E. They say millions of others. There's not actually millions. There's less than 100. But basically, you get access to all the language models so you can switch between them because some are better at certain tasks than others. It's more like a trial and error thing. You just need to you can basically pass a question into multiple different language models and you can see the responses and compare them. Yeah, I personally don't use Poe. I use ChatGPT 4 because I kind of see it like if GPT-4 is the best one, there's not really a benefit in using one of the other ones, even though some of the others might be better at certain tasks. It's just too much of a mission. So I usually just stick to the smartest one. So if, for example, Claude 3 Opus will take over on that leaderboard I showed you, I'll unsubscribe from ChatGPT 4 and then I'll hop onto Claude 3 Opus. So these are also links. If you click that, it'll take you here to the actual chatbot. Cool, so that's the closed source ones. Then we get the open source ones. Recently, 3 days ago, there was a breakthrough in open source language models. And this is by Meta. Meta created a new model called Llama 3, which is the smartest language model that's open source at the moment. If we look at that leaderboard, we can see Llama 3 here is ranked 6th, which is pretty decent. That's basically, yeah. I don't know why these are 1 and 2 like that. Maybe it's because they're like tied or something. But yeah, it's basically one of the top ones. So out of all the open source models, Llama 3 is the best one. And if you want to use it, you can go to meta.ai and then you can just use it right here. Okay, so I'm going to create a picking list for a trip and it'll answer you immediately. So you can see it's busy typing out the response. There's another development by this company called Grok, where they host open source language models. And you can see here, you can toggle between them over here. So here's the Llama 370B, that's the latest one. And if I ask it a question, you can see how fast that it answers. So that's like 293 tokens per second. So they built hardware which is able to run these models super fast, which is quite cool. And so you can always come here and use it for free, or you can come to meta.ai and use it for free. Now, the other option is you can download these open source models locally on your computer. So you'll actually download all the parameters onto your physical laptop so that way you can use it without internet and then privacy is guaranteed. If you're using Meta AI over here in the cloud and if you're using Grok, there's still a chance that they're training the models with your data or the people who are in these companies have access to your prompts and your information. But if you're downloading it locally, you guaranteed. So if privacy is very important to you, then you can use either this software. So the easiest way to download it locally, there's a software called lmstudio.ai or olama.com. So here's LM Studio. This is the one that I use. And basically you would just click on this button. So here's Llama 3. I just click the download button and then you can come to the chat section and then you can start a chat and then you can chat with it. And this is now running locally on my machine. So this is Llama 3 8B. There's also Llama 3 70B. So this one is the larger model. This one's 42 gigabytes of storage on my machine. This one's 5 gigs. So the 70B one is a smarter version, so it'll take up more space. but you do need a machine that's able to handle the processing power. That's the limitation. So you need the storage space and you need the processing power on your laptop or computer. Like the more later laptops like the M3 Max or the latest NVIDIA computer chips are able to run these models without your machine freezing or lagging or anything. A lot of people aren't like using the ChatGPT features mainly because they don't even know they exist. But basically this is just like a few of the features that it's capable of that I use all the time. So I just wanted to mention them just so that you know that they're there. So the one is you can upload documents and even multiple documents at the same time. And then you can ask questions to those documents. So this applies to PDFs, images, Excel spreadsheets, Word documents, etc. So pretty much any kind of document you use, you can click this paperclip icon and then you can select like a document. I don't know, what is it? This is my eBook. And then I can ask it like a question like, what are the 13 tools according to the attached eBook? Send that in. See how this does. There you go. OpenAI Playground, Copilot, Superhuman, Clipboard AI. So this is all correct. It even gives definitions, which is really cool. You can even have a chat with this ebook if you really want to. So yeah, that's one thing. And yeah, like I said, you can even upload like images and stuff. Where's an image? Here's a photo of my friend. Maybe I shouldn't use that one. Like this. What is in this image? So it's able to look at an image and basically interpret what's going on. Oh, there you go. There's a man with a bald head. I love how that's like the main thing it sees. And beard, smiling and crossing his arms. He's wearing a black button-up shirt and standing to the left of an image. To his right, there's a thought bubble pointing towards him, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, really cool. So it's able to interpret exactly what it's doing. Like I remember the one time I like pasted like a screenshot of like a website and I asked it to write the code for that like header block on a website, and I was able to do it. Yeah, it can go from image to code, image to text, lots of cool stuff. The other thing is Code Interpreter. Code Interpreter is used to write code, run Python code for you to check if it works, analyze spreadsheets, do math, and it can even create spreadsheets and other file types. Basically, if you ask it any kind of code related question, you'll see it's going to start using Code Interpreter. Let me say, write the code for a, I don't know, calculator. Yeah, let's see if that works. I don't know. It should start using a code interpreter thing. So you can see how it says analyzing. So if I click this drop down, you can see it's busy writing out the code. This is like Python code. It's giving like the hashtags, which is basically comments of what it's doing. And then here it's basically creating a function which adds two numbers, and then another function for subtracting two numbers, another one for multiplying. And it's super powerful. I mean, this thing's like really smart at writing Python code. Hardly ever makes mistakes. And if it does, you just prompt it to correct its error, and then it just corrects it. So yeah, there's it writing code for you in real time. And it also, what Code Interpreter does is it like also runs the code like in a remote environment for you, just to test that there's no errors or bugs. And then like it corrects its code if it runs it with an error. So they've built a really like powerful tool here. So this is cool for like data analysis. So maybe in your case, like you can upload a spreadsheet and you can ask it to give you the sales data per month for the past like 12 months for a specific category. And then it'll do the analysis for you. It'll write the SQL or the Python code. You can see here it ran into an error in the code. But yeah, and then it'll just continue trying to fix it. But yeah, so that's Code Interpreter. It's also able to search the internet and read or interpret text on web pages. What it does is it decides on its own based on your prompt if it needs to use access to the internet. But sometimes you want to force it to do that. So just two useful keywords to use is you can say use browser tool, or you can write browse with Bing inside of the prompt, and then it'll use a search engine to search for search results and give you an answer, and it'll even give you links to those web pages. And you can also paste a link in the prompt. So if I take my Futurize website and I'll copy this. So if I come here, I can start a new chat and I can say, use the browser tool to tell me what's in the header of this website. Paste the link, and it's telling us it's got courses about pricing and other login and join my free trial. So if we come here, that's not the one. If we go to futurize.com, courses about pricing, FAQ, login, join free trial. So you can see how I was actually able to scrape the content in the header of my website. So it has direct access to web pages. So if you like have an article and you wanted to summarize it for you, you don't need to go and like copy paste everything. You can just like paste in the link and it'll read it for you. Then it can also generate images using DALL-E 3. So you just tell it, generate an image of, I don't know, a boy sitting on the bench in a park, and it'll do it for you. The more specific you are with your prompts, the better images you can create. And then lastly, there's something called the GPT store. So if I come here into ChatGPT, let me just enable this. I can come here to explore GPTs, and you'll see there's a whole bunch of specialized chatbots that the community has made. So these are anyone like you and me. You can come here, you can even click create, and you can create your own your own custom GPT, and you can upload your own custom knowledge, like your own files. You can enable web browsing or disable it if you don't want to use it. DALL-E 3, code interpreter, those are the 3 features I just showed you. And you can even like create actions where it connects with like third-party applications via API, and you can create these chatbots to go out and do work for you like an AI agent, which basically is an AI agent. And yeah, so you can come here and you can explore. Maybe this one specializes in data as a data analyst, so you upload it with data, and then you click Start Chat. You can upload your file, and then you ask it a question. You see drop in files, and it can help analyze and visualize your data. Yeah, there's some really cool stuff. I think people even rate it. Yeah, sure.
Just want to know, when do I decide to utilize one of these custom GPTs versus just using ChatGPT 4? I'm just...
Sure. So basically, I personally don't actually use these GPTs, but a lot of people do, because for me, like I prefer to like just prompt it really specifically to do my task like really well. So I usually just like do everything directly in ChatGPT. Sometimes, for example, you don't want it to access the internet, right? Let's say you wanted to analyze a spreadsheet or answer a question based on a question and answer pairs in an Excel spreadsheet. And maybe sometimes ChatGPT will think it needs to use the internet for that question. Meanwhile, you only want it to reference data. Then it might be useful to create your own GPT and disable web browsing so that it doesn't use that, as an example, right? But yeah.
And then on the sort of creating your own ChatGPTs, is there a place for you to do this within your business? So your company has its own ChatGPT, or its own GPT, that is maybe private, I don't know if that's possible, where it's kind of prompted in a way that, I don't know, again, maybe text is formatted in a certain way, or a certain tone is prompted in there, so you know that when your staff are utilizing it for whatever they're utilizing it for, email presentations, analysis, it has, like in my company's Metas X-ified, it's kind of got like that Metas feel to it.
Yes.
Is that about creating a prompt guideline and giving that to your staff and saying, here is your prompts guidelines to utilize for Metas work?
Yeah, so you can definitely do that. So if you like come to create your own GPT, you would write those guidelines here under the instructions part. So if, like it says here, what does it do? How does it behave? What should it avoid doing? So you'd write all those guidelines in here in the instructions, and then you can keep it private. I'm just going to write some dummy text in here just so that it lets me publish it. Yeah, so click create. You can see if it's public, you click publish to GPT store, but if it's only people within your company, you can choose anyone with a link and keep that link private within your team, or you can choose only me, so only you have access. So only your account has access to this GPT.
Would everybody need to be on a paid account to be able to access that?
Anyone with a link? Actually, that's a very good question. I'm not even sure, but I don't think so. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Yeah. Let's actually test this out. If I come here and I paste this in, yes, so it does require ChatGPT Plus. So yes, they will be required to be on a paid account to use it. Sure. And then, yeah, so if you want to learn how to create GPTs in details, I created a YouTube video on that. It's this one here, created it 3 weeks ago, custom GPTs with Zapier AI actions. So we created a custom GPT which integrates with the Zapier API, and then it's able to trigger any Zapier action through your chatbot. So like you can tell it to add a row to an Excel spreadsheet, for example, and then it'll go and do it. Or you can tell it to add an event to your Google Calendar and it'll go and do it. What this specific use case was answering like a question about my website based on like question and answer pairs from like a Google Sheet. And then if it didn't have the answer, it would append that answer to the Google Sheet, all using Zapier. So you're just using words in a chatbot and then it goes ahead and like actually does actions within your applications. It's quite a cool thing. Yeah, so that you can get to that video from clicking that here button. Any other questions on ChatGPT?
Leon, I have a couple. Just a quick one. Can you then, with that red browsing, would you be able to ask questions like, hey, could you find a whole bunch of potential customers, do like mass web scraping with ChatGPT for customer data lists?
Yeah, it will. Yeah, I think they've actually built in restrictions for scraping email addresses. Maybe they'll be able to give you company names, but yeah, leads and stuff, it definitely won't be able to do.
Okay. And then, is there any way that you know how to get transcripts of YouTube videos?
Yes, I can show you that. Yeah, so if you come to, let's say, this video, you click on More, you scroll down all the way to the bottom, and then there'll be a Show Transcript button, and then it'll load here, and then you can just highlight everything like this. Again, copy that, then you can go to your, just closed it. You can go to your ChatGPT, and let's go to new chat. Okay, and I could say, you can prompt it however, you say, give me the top 3 insights from this YouTube whatever, and then you just paste it in, and then you send it in, and it'll then give you an answer. So what GPT-4 is like specifically good at is like summarizing large chunks of data. Like it's better than all the other language models, specifically for summarizing. So that's what's quite cool. So yeah, there's all the insights from my specific video.
Amazing, thanks Leon.
Sure.
I have done this before, but with the unpaid version. So
Yes.
I think with the paid version, you would need, if you wanted to do your transcripts, because it only allows a certain amount of text in the unpaid. Hey?
Yes, that's correct. So I think I have, is it this link? Yeah, so basically, yeah, that actually leads me directly to my next slide, which is the context window limitations. If you're on the Plus version, the paid version, you get 32,000 tokens that you can include in the prompt. And 1 token is equivalent to approximately 4 tokens are equal to 1 word. So that's basically 8,000 words that can fit into the prompt. If I open this link, you can see if I scroll down here. So the free version, your context window is 8,000 tokens. So that's, I believe, 2,000 words. But on the Plus version, 32K, so you have 8,000 words. Yeah, you can have a longer transcript in the Plus version. And then if you're on like the team version, it's also 32. And the enterprise version, you can have 128K, so that's quite cool. Sure. Yeah, so another limitation is, you guys are probably already aware of this, but AI can hallucinate. So that basically means that the AI can make mistakes. So it can write out an answer very confidently, and you think it's true, but if you're not like an expert in that specific topic, you might assume it to be true, and it's actually like just lying to you. Never take what AI chatbots say as fact. You must always validate it with your own research. But what is nice is that the smarter versions like GPT-4 hallucinates less than GPT 3.5. So as these models get smarter and smarter, they hallucinate less and less. But yeah, that's not to say that it doesn't hallucinate, because it definitely still does. So yeah, just always take everything it says with a pinch of salt. Another limitation is the knowledge cutoff. So basically that means these models are trained with data that is cut off from like a certain date. So if I come to this leaderboard, it gives a list in one of the columns telling you, I think I've already got it open. Where is it? Here it is. So knowledge cutoff. So you can see like the GPT-4 Turbo, this is the one that ChatGPT is using. The knowledge cutoff was December 2023. So anything that's happened this year is not going to be able to answer. And that's based on the knowledge that it was trained on. So if you want to say, for example, ask it for the most recent Arsenal score, it won't be able to know. It's going to give you the answer for the most recent Arsenal game from December 2023. But then, so what it will then do is it'll interpret from the question that it needs like recent data, and then it'll go use like that browser tool to go and search the web and give you the answer. but like inherently the model won't be able to answer it. So that's just something to keep in mind regarding the limitations. And then the last one is a privacy aspect. So you can either disable it, like I showed you in ChatGPT in your settings. The other option is to use Playground. So if you go to platform.openai.com and you go to this Playground button, this is the first thing that I show you in the ebook. This over here, they don't use anything you type in here to train the model. So this is completely private. And you can also change your model to like GPT-4 Turbo or GPT-4, whatever. And you can also adjust like these hyperparameters. So this is like how long the response must be. So how many tokens. This is like a toggle which will make the response more accurate or more precise or less or more creative. So like a temperature of 0 will give you like a more accurate response. So for example, if you're writing code, you'd want a temperature of 0 because you don't want it to be like creative and make things up. Whereas if you like doing creative writing, you'd want a temperature closer to 1 because then it'll be like more creative in what it says or the ideas or whatever. There's also all these other hyperparameters, but these aren't really as useful unless you like building like AI applications and you want to get really fine-tuned in like your what the responses look like. But the main ones you'll be using is this temperature and max length. But yeah, I teach all this stuff. And a really cool thing is you can't do this in ChatGPT. You can role prompt it. So you can type out a question, you can give an answer as if the AI answered it. You can write another question, and you can write out another answer as if the AI answered it. And then eventually when you ask your own question and you submit that, it's going to use like the style of the previous answers to give the new answer. So like an example is, let's say you want to write a blog post, for example. You can write a blog post around X, and then you paste in the blog post that you like, then you can write that it's great. Write another blog post around B or Y, whatever, and then you paste that in. And then, so this is what you call shot prompting or few shot prompting. It's a principle in prompt engineering that gives you really good responses. So yeah, I highly recommend this. Even in that local LLM studio, I believe you can also do it here, over here. Okay, so you can change it there, but yeah, okay, no, you actually can't do it. You can't do it in this specific software. You can only change it over here. Okay, yeah, so you'd write your question, you'd send that in, and then you'd change to assistant, you'd write that in, send it in, and then you just delete the previous answers and stuff. So yeah, it's a bit of a hack way to do it. But yeah, anyway, moral of the story is assistant. Highly recommend using this for getting better responses. And yeah, like I said, OpenAI Playground, it's completely private. So yeah, that's all for the AI chatbots. Next we have the AI applications. How are we doing for time? Jeez, we're running low on time.
Yeah, so Leon, we got about 15 minutes.
Sure. So yeah, we got AI-powered applications. These are apps which use these large language models as the base model inside their technologies to enhance features. But privacy is obviously a concern, as with any like third-party applications. So just be careful what you type into these AI features in these applications. So one that I personally use is Superhuman. Superhuman is an AI tool. Paul also uses this really nifty tool for replying to emails. Let's say I wanted to reply to this email with AI. You would use like Command J, and then you just write a draft outline. So you can just say reply saying.
So Leon, you're not on the screen. Do you want to share this?
Oh, am I not? Sorry about that. Can you see now?
Yeah.
Cool. If you come to your email, you click Command J, and then you can write an outline of your email. So I can say reply saying, I can't wait to attend, right? So click enter. So now you can see the AI is writing. So it's saying, hi, I can't wait to attend. But let's say we wanted to lengthen that. We can just click this lengthen button or shorten it or simplify it or fix grammar. So let's say lengthen, right? And then it's going to write out, hi, I wanted to express my excitement because I simply cannot wait to attend. So yeah, there's pretty cool stuff like that. Obviously, the better your prompt is, the better the reply will be. And then that's just a nice way to save time replying to emails. And sometimes you don't even need to give it context. You just say reply, and then it'll write something based on like the chat history. Thanks for the reminder. Looking forward to the mentoring session today at 12. I'll be there on time. So that's the Superhuman AI feature, is pretty cool. The other one's Fireflies. I think it's actually in this like chat right now. It's busy like recording a transcript of this meeting. And what's really cool is it gives you like insights into your meetings. Jeez, do I have to log in now? Okay, that's quite annoying. Okay, I won't do it now. But basically, there's a cool feature called Ask Fred. where it's like basically a chatbot that you can chat with your conversation history. If you had like a long meeting with someone and you're like looking for certain parts of something they said, you just ask the Ask Fred chatbot and it'll read in your transcript and then it'll answer you directly. So that's pretty cool. It's the same thing as basically just copy pasting your like transcript from like a Google Meet or whatever and like pasting it into ChatGPT. But it's just a nice way because like it stores all the chat history for you as well in the cloud, or all the conversations you've had. So it like becomes a nice little database of your meetings. The Descript, this is really cool. So for like the marketers and content creators, this is a super cool video editing software. So what Descript does is it allows you to edit videos based on the transcript. So what it does is like it'll convert your video from speech to text. So here's like all the text, and then I can like edit this text. If I like want to crop this part out, I'll just delete it, and then like it'll crop it out the video. And there's like other really cool AI features. One that I use quite a lot is the studio sound over here. So if you click this, it'll just, by clicking one button, it's going to use AI to enhance the quality of your audio, and it'll make it sound like you used a really professional mic and like you're in like a soundproof studio kind of thing. It removes background noise. Really cool feature. I use it like on every video I make. The other one is like this green screen. So like you can remove the background. Like in my YouTube video earlier, you might have seen there's me without the background, but I didn't use a green screen. It just used AI to remove the background. So that's that feature. Another really cool feature is this feature called overdub. Can you not use overdub without a speaker label? Okay, well you have to, so you assign like a speaker label, and then what overdub does is you can just like retype the text that you wanted to say, and then it'll use your voice and it'll correct that word. Like for post-production, if you like misspoke or you said something wrong, you just use AI to generate the word in your own voice. Obviously, if it's like a video like this, your mouth won't match the word, but oftentimes either people won't notice, or if it's a screen recording, no one will even notice. So it's a really cool, handy way to save time correcting mistakes. Any questions so far?
So Leon, I think that's amazing. I don't know whether you want to wrap it up or just power through what the last few on the slide are.
Sure. Yeah, I'll just power through there's just 3 more slides. So yeah, the other one's Clipboard AI. It's a data capturing tool to copy and paste like large bodies of text. Like you can copy a spreadsheet and paste it into a web application. Very cool. So I got like a demo. You can click this video. Opus Clip, you can repurpose long format videos into shorts using AI, and it'll use its own like interpretation to find like the most viral parts of the clip. So if you want to post on TikTok and shorts, YouTube shorts and whatever, really cool tool for that. Microsoft Copilot Pro, this integrates directly with your Microsoft Excel, Word, Outlook, and PowerPoint, and it's basically like an AI tool to help you use those tools and write inside of them. The Excel Copilot Pro is pretty cool because it actually writes out the formulas for you. Then there's Valley. So this is really cool, like it's LinkedIn cold outreach and conversations. So it'll like reach out to people, connect with them on LinkedIn, and it'll send them like a cold message, but it's based on their profile. So it'll scrape like their most recent posts, it'll scrape their website, it'll scrape their page, and it'll try to find like a really unique opening line using AI. And like they say that it works better than like human SDRs and stuff like that. So really recommend checking that out. It's quite expensive though, it's $500 a month. And then you can also see this list for like latest AI apps. But yeah, there's all the details of this are in this ebook. All right, the next thing is AI agents. So that's what I mentioned earlier. It's AI that works across systems to execute tasks for you. So most of these are still in demo phase. So it's like having like junior employees do work for you for a very specific task. So like examples are Zapier Central. So this is basically what I showed in that YouTube video, but they actually built out an application specifically for this. So it's a chatbot which directly integrates with all their different 6,000 applications on Zapier. Then there's like multi-on. I would love to do a demo on this for you guys because it's probably the coolest thing I've ever seen regarding AI. You just give it a prompt and it's connected to a web browser and it goes and does it. So that you can tell it to go to my most recent YouTube video and write a comment, and it'll go and do that. Or you can tell it to complete this like driver's license test, and it'll go and complete the test for you. Someone actually, I saw that on Twitter, someone did that and it actually passed the test. And it's also an API, but yeah, highly recommend coming and checking this software out. It's really cool. Like here's examples, like what's the top post on Hacker News, find the latest tweet by Elon Musk. So it goes actually on the internet and it does work for you. Then there's Devin. Devin's like a fully autonomous software engineer. It's still in closed beta, but basically you tell it what to do. It has access to a console for coding, access to a web browser to do research, and it like debugs the code in real time. It's almost like code interpreter, but like 10 times better. Super powerful technology. Then there's Rabbit OS, where you like can train an AI, like you click around on your screen and then it'll learn from you, and then you tell it to do that same task next time with a bit of a tweak, and it'll then know to do that. So the example they show in this demo is like booking a holiday on Airbnb. Then you tell it in a prompt, the next time you say book a holiday for 2 in this area, it'll go ahead open your Airbnb browser, log into your account, and it'll go make the booking for you. But obviously applies to like anything you do on a web browser. And then the next phase is artificial general intelligence. So this is research still in progress. It doesn't exist yet. OpenAI is working on this, but basically it's AI that's as intelligent as humans, and it can do basically anything a human can do. Fortunately, we're not there yet, or maybe unfortunately, I don't know, depends. But yeah, that's like the next major breakthrough they're working on regarding AI, specifically for AI productivity. So yeah, what's the 80-20 for AI chatbot productivity? So one is you can choose the AI apps that'll save you time. So you can go through my ebook, or maybe you saw something in the session that you could get value from. The second I'd highly recommend is to subscribe to one of the top 3 closed source models. I recommend ChatGPT Plus, because by using a smarter version, you'll instantly get better, more useful responses. But if you don't want to pay and you're okay with them using your data, you can just use that Copilot that I showed you earlier. The next thing is to learn prompt engineering, so that the better you can communicate with AI, the better responses you'll get and more value you'll get from these large language models. That's probably like the number one thing you could do to increase your productivity using these tools. And then lastly, to learn and leverage all the features in ChatGPT. So those are the features that I showed you earlier. So I'd say these are like the 4 things you could do immediately just to get that quickest ROI. And yeah, so if you are interested, you can check out my prompt engineering course on Futurize. You can go to this link, and this is the enrollment link. It's $15 per month. You can cancel anytime. And yeah, it will help you to become a generative AI prompt engineer. It's a 10-hour course. It's very hands-on, and you can click this link and you can come learn more over here. There's also a free trial if you want to check out some of the content. And yeah, that's all from my side.
Amazing, Leo. Thank you so much.